Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com. Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday. That's Bravo Breakdown. And I've got returning favorites, Brandy and Julie, back by popular demand, back from a boat to Israel that didn't go to Israel. And I'm very excited to have you guys here. Thanks for coming back.
I mean, we wish we could have gone to Israel. We wish we could have gone to the homeland, but once again, foiled.
I can't believe this because I heard this on your Patreon when you guys were there, and you're like, well, we were just told we're not going to go to Israel, which was our entire reason for coming on this trip.
Yeah, we ended up 14 days like in the Middle East without Israel. And now we've just taken to saying we went to Dubai, even though we didn't go near Dubai. I mean, we're just trying to like up the cachet, up the clout of the trip. We were,
But was this a cruise? Like you guys go on these cruises and you guys are like do the entertainment and stuff. This was what that was?
Yes, it's a gay cruise, chartered ship, and we do a show together. I do stand up, and
but we were allowed to pick, our trips, pick and choose, and they have a million beautiful. It's a vacation company called Vakaya, and
oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
Gay and lesbian, and they're super luxury. I mean, we could have fucking gone to like the exotic jungle. There was all these ones we could have gone to, and I mean, Israel was like one of the first ones we picked. So, and we didn't pick it because of Jordan, but
that's true.
We did get to see the pyramids, and we did get to see a lot of great stuff, and go to Greece and again.
Petra.
And so, it was a beautiful trip, but it just was funny that was like the first one we chose, and
so is your travel, it seems like your travel to get there and get home is the same amount as the trip itself. It's so far.
It was a lot of travel. It's really, really far. It's very, very far. And it's very, very far in coach. And
we've been I've been to Africa before, but like the middle, and this is obviously the eastern coast. And we've also been to Australia,
New Zealand.
So China, Japan. I don't know. I feel this was
the longest.
Maybe it's just was the most flights in that period of time.
Yeah.
Or something, but it seemed like the longest traveling we've done.
And for some reason, the biggest jet lag. Because even coming back from Australia, China, Japan.
And don't forget Antarctica.
We literally just went to Antarctica. That was nothing compared to this. Nothing compared to this.
And are all these trips that you're going on like this, are these all generally with the same vacation company?
Yes. When we've worked with several different ones, but this one will be I believe, probably the final one. Because it's definitely the best one. And they're just awesome. And it's for everyone. It's not just, and for a shameless plug for Vakaya, it is LGBTQ plus, mainly. But anyone can. Their whole thing is that it's all inclusive. It's for everyone, and anyone who wants to be in an environment like that, this is the trip for them. I mean,
there was one fun. There was only
so fun.
One female guest, and she was there with her husband.
Yeah.
So
right,
like straight like brothers and sisters are there a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's the most inclusive
of all of the companies,
gay travel companies.
Yeah, which makes it the most fun.
It seems like it would be a blast. And it also, you're with a bunch of rich gays. So
rich, because this is super yacht. They're calling these ships super yachts. So it's 200 people or less. It's like you have, there's enough crew for everyone on the ship. You know what I mean?
It's my kind of trip. Maybe I should try to be a stand-up. I'm sure it's easy.
It's so easy. No problem. Just do it. Yeah.
I heard you guys talking on Jeff Lewis about what you do. Like, so you do stand up a couple times. And I didn't realize that then Brandy came on and you did at the end of it, like a whole like photo montage of the whole trip and everything. I think that it probably is hilarious as well.
Oh my God, it's a highlight. It's better than the stand-up, I can tell you that. And we just like, we created it for this company, and like, it's definitely going good. It's
I think that would be really fun if you were on a boat like that, and at the end, and then like the entertainment was to see sort of like a slideshow, because you could probably like, you've all got a shared experience that you can love or talk shit about or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. It's just, and it's like roasting ourselves and roasting them.
And it's like our, you know, it's like People's Couch commentary plus an after show, which are the two things we did for Bravo. So it's the after show of the trip and the People's Couch of the photos and the videos.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it sounds easy and fun, but it isn't. It's annoying and hard to do.
But it doesn't sound easy at all. It sounds like you're probably loading pictures the whole time and cursing at the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah. And trying to just write. It's like we're working at Fashion Police again, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and we're so
the minute. Yeah.
Just like we were on Fashion Police. It's like they would ask for 10 jokes per photo and we'd give 3. The photo, come up with 1 joke. We're like, that's good. Let's not try and do any alts.
No, they can take their alt.
Yeah.
But did you guys watch the Met Gala or see the arrivals at least?
We saw the photos. Yeah.
Yeah. I did too. Yeah. Somebody was asking me about it. I was like, first of all, I'm old and I don't know, I'm elderly and I don't know who half these people are. I was like, but I did really like Lil Nas X. I was like, whoa. Like,
yeah.
You know, remember when the rumor was going around? Now I'm dating myself. When the rumor was going around, when the lady in some James Bond movie, and she was all gold. Okay, gold maybe. And so she was all gold, the lady, and, you know, a model or whatever. And I remember saying like, oh, she could only have that on for X amount of time because like it was going to kill her. It was going to like, you know, and so it was like this big thing to see this naked lady with the gold paint in the movie because it was like really dangerous. It's like, of course, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, I wonder if Lil Nas X could only have that on for a certain amount of time or he was going to die.
Yeah, he's going to get toxic shock from the chemical paint. That's all. Yeah, I think we'll probably find out. Let's cut to 2040 when Nas X has like a skin disorder. And we're like, yep, it was that Met Gala.
I saw him afterwards. I was like, do you think he just like put clothes over that and then just went out and was just like sweating through that silver paint all night? I was interested in that.
His face out? I didn't see him afterwards. Like, was his face out of the...
No, I saw him with the mask on, like, you know, bathroom selfies and shit. Yeah, I know Billie Eilish got in trouble for doing a bathroom selfie. I was like, Billie Eilish can do no wrong. I don't care what she does. It's like, yeah. She's up there 20 years old, living her best life.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're back and I'm glad you're safe. And where are you going to next? Because, I mean, you were just in Antarctica last time I talked to you.
We are going to Tahiti and Hawaii in October.
Stop.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we've been to Hawaii, but we have been, of course, Tahiti is like a bucket list thing for everyone. So we can see where Kim dropped the diamond in the water. So we're really, really looking for. We'll probably get on that, and then they'll be like, Tahiti's canceled. Guys.
Yeah.
It's dangerous there.
Right.
There's a resort. There's a resort in Tahiti called the Brando because it was Marlon Brando's island. Oh. And like Frederick Eklund always goes there with his 2 perfect, beautiful children.
Oh.
And so I'm completely obsessed with it. And I get emails from them like, when are you coming? And I'm like, I don't, never. But
I think we heard about it from like a super rich guy who works in DC on this cruise who's going on that. And he's like, it's really pricey, but it's worth it. And we were like, guy.
I mean, these people are so rich. Exactly. It's like, just spend the extra money, get the entire hut that's out in the middle of the ocean that has a glass floor.
Yes.
Just spend the extra money on it. Just for like 4 days. And I was like, okay.
The place that's so expensive that when Kim Kardashian dropped her diamond in the water, she was crying because she had no money left after paying to stay there.
My parents have stayed at those overwater huts in Tahiti. And a friend of mine just went on like a celebrity cruise or something that went to Tahiti, and they did all around. But she was like, yeah, we kayaked past those overwater huts and was like, hi, rich people, we're not stopping.
That'll be us for sure. Yeah. We'll be on the edge of the super yacht. Like, that's what they're doing.
But I think that's amazing because my friend that went from the DC area over to LA and then to Tahiti. I mean, at least you're closer over in LA, you know?
That's true.
We're definitely looking forward to this time going to Hawaii and being the close the close ones.
Yes.
Not having to go to New York and then go to Switzerland and then go to Paris and then go to Africa.
Right.
It's like, no, we're going to go direct flight here to Hawaii and be like, go fuck yourself, New York. Exactly. They all got direct flights back from, Athens or whatever. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. Also, we're not looking forward to it. We're thrilled to have a few months of not traveling.
Exactly.
I think if you're taking this direct flight to Hawaii, I think you need to just pamper yourself and do first class, or at least business class. Come on, do something. Because I heard you guys Patreon from that airplane with the bitchy flight attendant, and I was like, this sounds like a nightmare.
We are going to upgrade. That's exactly what we're doing, Mary Payne. We were already like, you know what? Let's use our miles and let's just upgrade to first class and drink Bellinis and like finger.
How many miles must you have? You must be like that George Clooney guy in that movie. He's like flying around. You must have 1 million miles at this point.
Well, we do have a lot of miles, but
they're all spread out.
They're spread out.
And
that's the prob.
Yeah.
They're spread out.
So let's buy us our tickets on Hawaiian Air.
Yeah.
We don't have miles on that really, you know?
Right.
So, but we, I'm sure we'll end up just paying to upgrade because we want to do it at least there, you know?
For sure. You have to. Okay. Well, I can't wait to hear about that. So, but that's not for a few more months. So you're going to have a break.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, good. Well, let's get into what's happening on Bravo this week. So I just had, right before we got on, I had Julie watch the finale trailer or whatever, but it was leaked. So that's the scoop, Julie. Somebody leaked it and it was out with the timestamp. You know how they run it in the corner? Like someone.
Oh, like they exported it off of Final Cut Pro and then sent it right onto the internet?
Yes.
Wow.
So somebody got a screener
of night with the flash drive.
Right.
It was like, I hope it downloads in time. Come on.
Exactly.
It almost looks like somebody got a screener and then recorded it on their phone is what it looked like. Because we get screeners for some shows and it didn't look like because you can't just like hit screen record. It won't record. It comes up black. So somebody like screen recorded the recording and it was all over. And then Bravo released it because they're like, okay, well, I guess we fucking have to release this now. But they said there's like a huge internal investigation going on, like who leaked it, because they're all those screeners, like they know who gets them.
Yeah. And how could it be? Where was it first leaked? Because I, of course, watched it on Twitter because that's
same.
Yeah. So I'm thinking now Twitter might be the only place that they, Elon Musk will refuse to go back and see where that account is from or, But I would think they could easily go back and find out who was the first account that posted it.
I'm sure somebody could, But then they released it, and so I had Julie watch it because she hadn't seen it. And first initial reaction is spine chilling.
Man, it's intense. It's intense. If you like reality TV, then I guess you should be watching this because this shit's real. I mean, however produced anything is, that you can't fake.
I don't know who isn't emotion triggered by it though. Like there's not a woman on the planet that's not deeply triggered by it. It's like the Heather McDonald, Megan from Jeff Lewis fight.
Yeah.
It was just triggering for everyone because for every girl. It's just every not that men haven't been cheated on, but it's just I decided it's proprietary to women. So we reserve the right to be fucking furious and triggered by it. And I don't care if you haven't been cheated on since high school. It will get you by the throat and make you feel like pain, the Mary Payne.
Well, that's right, the Mary Payne. I listened to Lala's podcast earlier today, and she has it with her assistant or whoever's on there with her. But it is pretty interesting. They had watched. They didn't talk about the trailer so much as they just talked about the episode that was on last week. And she's like, I mean, people absolutely do not believe that the production didn't know and that this is just how the show went. She was like, the production did not know. I was the one in those confessionals going like, don't you guys see this? And they're like, well, give me an example. When have you seen them together? She's like, I don't have an example of that. I'm just telling you it's a vibe that I get. And she's like, nobody believed me.
But even if people knew, what were they going to do? So even if production knew, let's say, and they were all talking to each other like, we know that Tom is fucking getting with what's her name, or we know that whatever. And maybe we knew however many years ago that Tom got with that girl in Miami.
Of course.
They can't. So it's like, to me, it's sort of just like that shit had to play out. That shit had to play out. And there was no way that was not going to play out.
And we know the production team. I mean, we don't know if it's still the same team from when we did the after show, but we knew them then. It was the exact same team that did the after show, that did their show. And they're all like insanely nice. And the amount of time they spend with these people, I mean, it's like anything else. It's like, you know, you find out somebody's cheating in one of your couple friends, and you're like, okay, well, don't shoot them. I mean, I don't even want to know. I don't want to. I don't listen to butt dials. I'm like, don't give me the fucking info. Don't make me responsible for, you know, being the one. I'm not even mad at Tom Schwartz. I mean, he's super definitely, you know, entered his douche phase, but I'm not mad at him for not
telling everybody,
blowing up the spot. You know,
I mean, he's put in a terrible position. Yeah,
I will say, just the trailer alone, it reminds me of the Sister Wives episode, which is one of the best episodes ever to be on television, where it was just Cody and Christine talking about their relationship, and just having to face the messy, grotesque, awful feelings, whether you're the good guy or the bad guy or whatever, at the end of the day, watching people navigate cheating and or whatever, you can't help but feel for everyone involved, because these are, and whatever your feelings are, I do think that I do find it to be important to watch them go through it, because everyone's going through something. In this scenario, I'm not trying to justify what anyone does, but we're all good and we're all bad.
Yeah, it's not black and white.
So, right, that he was clearly going through a lot or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, the only person I blame is Raquel. So, you know.
You know, the worst part of that fucking trailer was dumb bitch Raquel smiling, being like, this didn't work out the way we thought it would, or whatever she says. I'm like, Raquel, fucking so annoying.
I never thought I would find empathy, particularly with a man, men in general, but I did. And, you know, especially coming from a place where I'm not a perfect person and I've done every single thing wrong. So I have to and would never judge anyone for doing whatever except Raquel. And so
this is interesting. So you blame her more than you blame Tom Sandoval, who was the person in the committed relationship. You blame her more because of the friendship part of it?
It's really, for me personally, I don't ever subscribe to, in a relationship, like blaming everyone. If you do something, you're to blame. Tom is to blame for what he did. He made the choices he made, and that is his fault.
His responsibility.
I don't believe a person is a home wrecker unless the home can be wrecked or was already wrecked. I don't believe that is true. I don't think Raquel came in and wrecked a home. I think Tom and Ariana were going through some shit, and Tom, you know, wasn't honest, and whatever he's going through in his whatever made him make terrible, awful choices that hurt somebody else. Raquel, however, why I say this about her is because she wasn't in a relationship. She was walked around this season.
She wasn't one with Ariana.
Right. That's right. And that's right. And she walked around every single person like a sociopath.
Every single
person. I'm going to make out with Schwartz. What? That's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm not like going to date him. And it's like, doing that in front of Katie was grotesque. Doing that in front of Tom is terrible. Doing that to your friend,
in front of James.
Awful. Sheena, your friend.
Yeah, James,
everyone. She betrayed every single person there. And she just acted without feeling or empathy or compassion for any single person except for her own self. So that's why I don't and can't deal with her. And I don't have feeling like a empathetic feeling while I do with every single other person that I watch on that show.
Okay, well, this is a great point because, you know, when you think about her trying to malign Lala, being like, you're a mistress, when meanwhile she's fucking her friend's basic husband. I mean, you know, like, you're also a mistress. Like, you know, why are you doing that? So you're right. She did go around insulting every single person in some way or another.
And then that one was important. The only even the very small act of her with Tom Schwartz and Katie was that was
when we started hating her.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. Yeah. I honestly have never seen someone act like that before. I couldn't believe it.
I was just sort of like, this is the thirst to stay on the show, right? That's what I thought initially when we found out about that. We're like, well, she just wants to stay on the show, so she's got to, since she's not attached to James anymore, where's her anchor?
Yeah, well, she'll try to fake like a manufactured storyline, and that was perfectly fine. And by the way, I mean, ironically, that is why we've gotten in a fight for saying that before. Tom Sandoval got mad at us,
right?
And was actually literally mad at us because we implied there was manufactured produced storylines.
Yep.
And then we had to give him a formal apology, but he did forgive us. But he got so pissed off. But I think it was like, fine, it's a manufactured storyline. Katie herself even knew that. I think it was more of Raquel's brazen like behavior in the scenes. You can say, okay, I'm along for the ride on this bullshit storyline, and we've seen it before, but her brazen behavior that never stopped. And by the way, once Katie sits at the lunch or dinner or whatever that was and is like, no, I don't want you to do that. I'm not comfortable with that. And Lala's like, no, you're not going to fucking do that. That's when she stops doing it. That's where the storyline is. Now start taking the storyline that way. Don't go the other way. And now you're kissing him at Sheena's wedding, so Sheena has to Photoshop your face out and put Lala.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, that's definitely iconic.
Right. When every single person tells you no, and you continue to do it, I blame you. I
did think it was interesting that Lala said to her when they sat down and had that conversation, Lala said to her, I hope you have a lot of people around you because a crash is coming for you. And I hope you have some friends that are going to catch you.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
Yeah. And hopefully she does. I mean, and these, just like all people, I do think particularly watching all of them who have cheated and all of them who are and have been on both sides of this fence, to be judging in any way, I do think is pretty interesting. But like, with that said, I truly feel that like the showing of that inner, the fighting that goes on between people can really be a true, honest, for real lesson for people. Like, because we can be like, they cheated or they did this or they did that or blah, 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 and all of those things are horrible. But the nuance of people's fear and
it's like the very first season of The Real World when you would actually have enlightening moments.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you're watching, oh my God, they're working this out and it's not black and white and there's nuance to everything.
Yep.
And I mean, not for nothing, I was listening to Tom Sandoval on Stupid Fucking Howie Mandel while driving through the Middle East. Literally, we're on a tour bus. There's somebody giving information about like King Tut, and I'm like listening to Tom on. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, get cultured, get a life. But that was, really, I was glad that he did it because I found it quite enlightening, and I was able to sort of have empathy and see his not his side of things, but just see it as a whole.
Well, and I do think that it could give people, I think a lot of people can relate to him, whether it be men or women or whoever, who have lived with the fear of not being able to break up with someone or being unhappy in a relationship, not being able to say what you need, not whatever it is, whatever that is. I think it's important and good for people to watch someone struggle through that and learn from it so that maybe you don't make the same mistake. Like, you know what I mean? Like because maybe you could stop someone from doing that if they can watch someone struggle through that and make the mistake and be like, wow, I don't actually want to hurt that person. I'm getting woken up from my selfish, fear-based, hole that I'm in. Maybe I'll look at what he's going through and what he did. I don't want to do that. I think people can be like asleep in a way to their fear and their pain and not see what they're doing to other people.
I think that and I like what you said, Brandy, that maybe it's better to see it as a whole. You could see like all the sides, but I think that what really a lot of things bothered me about that Howie Mandel thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things that bothered me was that he was just saying like, well, she would threaten to kill herself and she has these mental health issues all the time. I was like, dude, that's not for you to say. And those are like private conversations. And, I mean, I can understand him saying like, we've been in a stale relationship and I felt something and, whatever, that's fine. Say that, but don't then kind of tell sort of private information about Ariana's mental health or what she's going through, or her grandma died, or her dog that she had for longer than she had him died, I just, all that was just gross. It was just like, stop, like, don't throw her under the bus any further.
Yeah.
That's him trying to justify.
And it was, there was a ton of horrific, the whole thing was cringy and awful. Not to mention Howie Mandel. How about do some editing? How about don't have him walking in and, okay, you can sit there. No, that's the headphones. I'm like, this all needs to be edited. Get an editor. But I think he said that to sort of illustrate that when you were saying that it would maybe wake people up, what it made me think too is that I think people in relationships that are being stubborn and in denial, or just, there's something wrong under the surface, but you're scared or whatever, you don't want to acknowledge it. And I think he was saying that to say she didn't want to talk about it, and she didn't want to. She would, I guess say she wouldn't film and she wouldn't go to the reunion and she wouldn't whatever. And I mean, I believe all that stuff. And I believe that he's so, like ambitious and like, just my image, and everything is about his image and his money and his looks and his band and his mustache and his pubic hair and his God. And she would threaten that and it would make him fold. And I think that was her, unfortunately being very, very stubborn to the fact that, the relationship had taken a turn. And that is what hopefully, like Julie said, people will watch and be like, I gotta wake up and
like for both sides. Yeah, for both sides. People get,
But it is fascinating, and it is so interesting that like all eyes were on it as a society, like people that had never watched the show or anything were like, oh, what about that thing that's happening on that Bravo show? I was like, listen, don't listen. You can't jump in now. You got to go from the beginning and then come back and talk to me. Yeah. And then I'd have like my cousins and stuff texting me like, is this stuff real? What's happening? I was like, girl, I just did an entire podcast about it. Yes, it's real. Catch up.
Yeah.
Don't act like it's nothing. Okay. So it's like New York Times wrote about it. Washington Post wrote about it. It's crazy.
They were at the White House.
Correspondence Center.
I mean, that was, we have a political podcast, so that was pretty crazy for us, like to see. But I think now, and this is controversial to say, but I'm continuing to say it's all playing out, and I will say Ariana doesn't look the best, like having zero problems with Raquel getting with Tom Schwartz. When Katie's saying she's hurt and they're doing their sandwich shop together. And even though everybody wants to just be like, well, I knew it was just for the storyline. That's still so hurtful to Katie. As her friend, you should be like, no, I'm not going to support this as a fake, stupid storyline. So I think Ariana, in some respects, like is coming off bad with that. And, but I'm like, now that it is what it is. And even though I can't stand Raquel, I mean, it's not like Sandoval's like not douchey. So I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of like wishing them the best. I think I hope they stay together. I hope they're on next season. And I'm like, if this whole thing had to happen for you two and your stupid like sexual chemistry or whatever the hell. And so now I wish you luck. Go right off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like Kate Casey said, the only thing that can happen is for them to stay together and have a baby like that. I was like, well, that's extreme. But maybe so. Wouldn't that be nuts? Wouldn't that be nuts?
It would be the only thing that would legitimize any of it. Because then what are we doing here? If we didn't have some love story of the ages that ruined everybody's lives, then what you're dealing with is
two douchebags.
Just two douchebags, and one who is just too, I guess, scared to break up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And just someone who happened to be his girlfriend's best friend. So I don't, it's like, but maybe that's what he needed to do to break up his. I mean, it's just so fucking.
We could literally talk about it for 2 hours. I mean, I could talk about it with anybody, anytime. 2 hours. Let's sit down. Let's do it. And then a new point will always come up. I'm like, you're right. So layered.
It's so fucking layered. Yeah. So layered, and it's something that affects every single human being.
Yeah.
So how can you not help but think about how it would affect your life and what you've done in your life? And I would just like to think that people look at something like that, and rather than, now I of course went and just was like, Raquel's a fucking asshole. But
yeah,
while trying to be like, okay, let me use this as, I'm not judge and jury of anyone's life.
We didn't like Raquel before Raquel did this.
That's
we didn't like Raquel when Raquel was with James.
That's
so
right.
We already didn't like Raquel.
Yeah.
And her, nose jobs
and
her modeling career.
Yeah. And I do think that every single person on the show and everyone watching needs to also check their hypocrisy and check their entitlement, check their fucking judgments and their morality when each and every one of them has been a cheater and needs to check it. They need to check it. They need to get the coat and they need to check it because like you can't, you just, you can commentate that something is wrong and hurtful and fuck and my friend and man, but if you're not coming to the table with like, listen, I've cheated, I've hurt someone, this sucks, you are in for a fucking world of hurt and it sucks, and and none of them are.
Yeah, but they were her friend. Are you talking about the people on the show?
Yes.
Yeah, well, they were her friends, so they were lied to too. So it's
I know, but it's still a step.
I think that Lala was like that when Raquel showed up to the birthday, which, what are you doing there?
Right.
She's such a lurk. I can't. So she shows up and she's like, I was fooled by Garcelle's son. And it's like, God bless Garcelle. Like, we love Garcelle. So she's like, I was fooled by Garcelle's son. And then Lala's right there saying like, I get that. Like,
yeah, at the end, she finally did at least cop to that. But she wasn't doing it until that moment.
I think none of them have done this scenario.
Right.
So it's hard for them to be empathetic. And they were also lied to and made into a pawn of the game. And Sheena especially was out. Sheena's out here with her ass out and looking like an asshole, defending her every week. Sheena, no wonder she punched her in the face. Like, she probably went back and punched her again after every episode. Like, drives over and punches her face again. I look like a dumbass.
Yeah, that's true.
They were all so betrayed, and it's I will say we're not really watching with much pleasure.
No, we're not.
Yeah, it's sort of like
no pleasure.
If you didn't know any of this and you're watching it, and you're like, well, this is so dumb. They're trying to make up a storyline about Scandoval and Raquel. This is annoying. I would be annoyed if I didn't know what I knew.
Yeah,
I'd be like, this is totally made up.
We're having fun just hating on Tom Schwartz, who we actually like as a friend and love. But that's our fun. Like, that's like our hate watch that we're having a good time being like, Tom's being so annoying.
Yeah.
Or, the Tom and Lala fight was.
Yes. I was going to ask you about that. That was pretty intense. And Lala said on her podcast this week, she was like, I left. And then I was like, fuck that. And I came back. She was like, you're not going to talk about my brand. Cause he was like, you're so corny. And blow up your lips. And I was like, oh my God, Tom Schwartz, shut up. And then he's like, but you're a great mom. These are good wings. Like, no,
he's
already said it.
He's definitely going through something.
Yeah.
Like, he's lost his goddamn fucking mind.
Yeah. But that's pretty fun. I'm enjoying his fall from grace as someone I consider a friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's bad timing for him that everybody's looking for somewhere, a place to put their anger, and he's the one being. Did you
have feelings on Satchel?
Yeah, I was happy for Katie, and I think that Satchel looks cuter than we think. We need the app where you like switch the hair out. If you take his face and you just scroll through hair, slide it over with your thumb, like different hair. I think Satchel's is cuter than he appeared.
Right. And I think that Ben and Ronnie were calling him Weird Al Chalamet. So he looks like Weird Al and Timothy Chalamet combined.
Well, I love Timothy Chalamet. So see, there is a compliment hidden in there.
Right.
Yes, because it's in the face. The face is good, but it's the hair and the clothes that are maybe wouldn't attract me at a bar to speak to someone or at a party.
There were shots that during they were at that bar and he was there with Katie.
Wait, at the beginning or the one recently?
Later, like when it was like a second date.
When they had that fight, when James got the 150 in the eye or whatever.
It was inside somewhere. It was inside a bar.
So this is the one after the beach.
Yeah. So after the beach,
where it was like the camera would go away from them and you would see Katie's shoulder and you would just see like his little hand like
petting her
gently. Yeah. And I was like, I know that's sweet, I think, but for some reason I was like not into it. Like it was
stop touching me.
It just was, because his other arm was around. It was a lot of rubbing.
I like it. I think Satchel is gonna transition to a man bun, and I think everybody's panicking for the next
man bun.
Yeah, and I think everyone's gonna go, oh, and I'm gonna be slow clap for Katie.
Yeah. Well, she did say, and I did have to check my own self because she did say, she's never been treated so sweetly, and she felt really taken care of, and so she needs to be, held and rubbed and caressed for a while.
Maybe.
So that's what it's for.
I think it's it was like the baggy pants and like the socks with Crocs on the beach situation. But you know what? Tom Schwartz doesn't have the best style either. And neither does Katie, let's be honest. So who cares?
Yeah.
He's giving me like junior high, like a kid that I knew in junior high who played the keyboard. And probably like had a xylophone somewhere in the house. You know what I mean? Like,
wish you guys could see Julie's face.
Like, made up songs and stuff, and like has notebooks and probably writes poetry.
Like all of that is making him hotter with each thing. Like I'm loving his keyboard in the garage.
Oh, his keyboard, like doing like I would bet money that he's into sci-fi, you know what I mean? Which I'm not mad at all. Yeah. But definitely he writes poetry. Definitely he's got the 4 agreements in his bag. Like he's like spiritual but not religious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So like a gentle, not threatening. He's gonna do what he's told. So okay, that's what you know.
Well, all of that would not turn me on. But I think that when you said man bun, I could see it. I could see it with the man bun. Yeah.
I think next season, they'll be back at the beach. I think the Crocs will still be there. I think socks will be off. I think he will probably still be in like a jogger, but with Crocs, no shirt, man bun, and pasty, but still good bod. So all, and
skinny but toned.
Right. Skinny but toned and pale. I'm not pale. Amanda Tan, but I think the bone structure will be there. The hipster bod will be there. We'll be like, all right, and this is what we want for Katie.
Okay. Wow, we just really broke Satchel down with that. Never
strong. I'm loving I'm loving our plan for the
Oh my God! If he shows up next season with a man bun, I'm just gonna have to like pull this episode and
you have to. Guys. You have to. I mean. Yeah.
Brandy is a sage. She's a seer of the future.
Like at the beginning of the when presidential nominee, the people were announcing they were going to run for president, when they were all out, like nowhere even near the primaries yet. We said that we wanted to see Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and run together, and Elizabeth Warren, or Elizabeth Warren and Beto O'Rourke. Then Beto O'Rourke dropped out, and Kamala Harris dropped out. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris ended up running together. And you best believe we pulled that episode. We play it like once a month.
Like remember what we said that one time when we said something really smart? Yeah.
Everybody knew. I'm like, this was so long ago. There wasn't one person that was saying that. No one was even talking about running mates.
No.
So when they try to say they knew he was going to come with a man bun, you better bring the receipts, Mary Payne. Okay.
So look, I've been telling y'all about microdosing to help with creativity and sleep and anxiety, among other things. And you know who could use help with all of those things is Debbie on 90 Day the Other Way. That poor woman, she has got to be so anxious. She can't be creative in this environment with all the stress, Osama. So look, this is what microdosing THC is for. I have been eating half a gummy at night to help my mind calm down so I can go to sleep. When I try to go to bed, you guys, it's like off to the races. Everything that I needed to do that day or I need to do tomorrow, it just races and races. I'm like, did I remember to call my dad for his birthday? Like, I can't get my mind to calm down. I did call my dad for his birthday, by the way. But I take a half a gummy. I just like bite it right in half, and it really has helped me sleep a ton. I really think I slept a solid 7 hours last night, which is huge for me because normally I'm up at least twice. So Microdose is a product that is available nationwide. If you want to learn more about microdosing THC, you go to microdose.com and you can use code PINKSHADE to get free shipping and 30% off your first order. Links can be found in the show notes, but again, you go to microdose.com and use code PINKSHADE and you'll get all the descriptions there and you'll get 30% off your first order and free shipping, and you can learn more about it. Do it. Oh my God. Are you guys caught up on Jersey? I just watched the episode that came out recently, and I think that the more I see of Louis, the more I'm afraid of him because I think he's a wannabe cult leader and I'm terrified.
Okay, so our deal with New Jersey is that we've been resisting watching because we did a thing for like a special for Bravo when Teresa got out of jail. So that was whatever 2016, I think, that first episode of that season. And so we met. It was at Melissa's house, and so we spent time with both of them and their kids. Not Juicy Joe, because Juicy Joe was already
in prison,
in jail at that point.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because we love some Juicy Joe. But it was Joe Gorga, and Melissa and all their kids. Dorinda was there. Dorinda's boyfriend that smoked. What was his name?
John.
Remember John? Skeezy John?
The dry cleaner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was skeezing on. And then Teresa and all of Teresa's daughters. And we loved them all so much. And that was that one season that they probably came together more after that. But that fact that they're like really, really fighting now, we kind of we haven't watched it because because now we can't be objective at all. I mean, and we love them all so much, and we love their kids, and we love Gia, and Gia's Joe Gorga, and so we've been putting it off, but we did decide to watch it. So we started at the episode of the season that we did the special for. Teresa gets out of jail, and we literally, to your point, were so bummed out that Juicy Joe is deported out of the country, and Louis, and we don't even really know anything about Louis except like the video on the beach and the rumors and all that. But
you saw the one that he did where he claimed he was owner of Rue La La, right? You saw that? Was that the one? Jesus.
That wasn't like the cult thing on the beach though, right? About like men being good.
No, this was pretty recent. It wasn't a recent video, but it just surfaced recently. He loves to sit in his car and do a guys. And he had done literally crying. He was like, you guys just wouldn't believe this. And you see that building over there? And it's like Rue La La. His name is Rue Las. He was like, yeah, it's my family business. Like claiming Rue La La is like his family's business. He's sad because they sold it or something.
Oh, I didn't.
And people are like, no, it's not. And Rue La La came out and was like, yeah, we don't know you. We don't know her.
And
what?
No.
And then
it's just a lot of things like that. And then he had that ex-wife that ran a marathon in her wedding dress to for violence against women. I think that.
Oh God.
And then this clip that they showed for what's coming up next week, it's like he's talking to Teresa and he's like, basically like, you got to cut out the cancer. It's your brother. He's like saying like, you have to take a stand. Like now's the time. And it's sort of like, I just don't like the way it's come across, and this could all be for TV. I don't know. I'm literally just a viewer. That it seems has manipulated her to this point. I don't think Joe Gorga is a great brother either. I think the two of them have no communication skills and they just talk past each other, and sitting with the therapist has proven not to work.
Yes, to the therapist.
Yeah. They have a shield like Wonder Woman. They can't. And so, but this whole thing with Louis, that's the part of it that I don't like. It's like between the two of them, like maybe they're just brother and sister. They're never going to talk again, and we can't do anything about it. Like they've tried.
Yeah.
But the thing with Louis kind of coming in there and.
Yeah.
And then there was this week when he was like, she's like, you're on speaker. And he's like, oh shit, sorry. Yeah.
I think we're going to be, even though happy for her, we were happy for her on girls trip, first season. But we're sad. We really, even with Juicy Joe and his, roids and calling her my cunt wife and all that, we still liked him and for her, and he's the dad of the kids. And I think
this week he comes across great. Like he's so happy for the girls in their bridesmaids dress. And this week, and he's like telling Teresa, like, if he loves the kids, I love you. And so, it's turned out that relationship in the divorce has turned out fine. And she's crying, saying like, I want you to come back to the States. Like, so I got nothing against Juicy Joe.
I hope that, we just hope that Louis isn't a grifter. So bad.
The more important thing is when we started watching New Jersey, we did a little social media trolling to see what was going on with Juicy Joe. Mm-hmm. And Juice has started a travel yacht company, and we should all go and support. We all need to go support the Juice's travel yacht company called
in the Bahamas.
Or something like that. It's called, let's look and see what it's called so we can all support the juice of the
so we
Joe.
can all go on there and like go to our offshore accounts.
Yeah. I mean, do no wrong. I don't care. Joe, what's his last? Oh, Judice.
We call him Joe Judice because one time on Watch What Happens Live, she said that's how you say it. So we just stick with it. We don't even do Judice.
Like, well, it's interchangeable.
Yeah.
It's interchangeable.
Good old Judice.
Like, well, I think they could, Juicy Joe could get a brand deal with Vakaya.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do it.
Do you think there's any way that Louis, that's his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he's totally on, like, this is going to pan out well? Do the little girls like him? Like Gabrielle?
Yeah, they like him.
They do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just questionable where his money comes from. And if all the money comes from Teresa, from the show, from the books, from the everything, the tours, everything she does, I think that would be it'd be a good time to say it, because it looks like, how did they have a 15,000 square foot house and he's been fired from his direct sales marketing Jen Shaw job? So how did they have that money? And he didn't know Rue La La, so he's not getting his money from the secondhand Gucci bags. So I don't know.
They're now married, so she could potentially
It makes me worried. It makes me worried for her, because I feel like she's so in love, and it's so nice for her to, like you're saying, just about like Katie and Satchel, to have that attention and everything, that love bombing. But it makes me nervous. It makes me nervous.
Well, that's why all of us should take a trip at Worldwide Charter Tours, which is info at worldwidechartertours.com. Founded by Joe Judice, entrepreneur, father, and founder.
Wonderful. And that's in the Bahamas where he lives, right?
So he lives in the Bahamas?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's as close as he can get, I think, to the States. And before you get to Puerto Rico, and you're like, nope, go back to the Bahamas. Right. Puerto Rico's part of the States. But listen, God bless him. God bless him. He wasn't a great husband, but he's a great ex-husband, it seems.
And a good dad, apparently. And
a good dad.
A lot of people do a lot less and get to stay in this country, and a lot of people do a lot worse, and I just don't really get it. Like, let the guy back in. Give me a break.
Hey y'all, keeping your body in shape is important, but it's also important to keep your mind sharp. I've been leveling up my focus with Word Collect. You guys know I love a game on my phone. I love a word game. It's my new favorite one. It's a puzzle app. It's free. You never get bored. There's like 2,000 levels. It starts easy, but I'm going to tell you, it's starting to get a little harder because I'm getting better. It's a fun and addicting way to keep your mind sharp and grow your vocabulary. Challenge yourself with this fun and addicting brain game. And right now, when you get Word Collect, they're going to give you 2,500 coins and 500 gems when you download and play. So you go on wherever you get your little games and things, whether it's like Apple, Google, whatever, you go and you get it. And then right when you get it, they're going to give you these coins and these gems, which you need to like level up and play little side games and things. So Stop mindlessly scrolling through social media and keep your mind sharp. Just go to the Apple or Google store and search for Word Collect. You want to get fit in your mind and body. Download Word Collect for free today. Yeah, I agree, but whatever. All right, let's quickly talk about Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3, Episode 7, the last one, Tantric Tantrums. How did you feel overall about this season? And you can compare it to Season 1 and 2 if you want, just sort of overall how you felt about it. Oh, well.
I don't know. I mean,
where's Pepsi? Where's Pepsi? I'm back. I think I have a parasite. I have a parasite, you guys.
So I'm not sure if you guys remember last time Brandy and Julie were here, but they're not fans of Leah.
Yeah,
put it mildly.
No. And didn't she just prove us right? What episode did we do? Did we do episode 2 with you or 3?
It was the one where she really leaned into the poop, diarrhea, vaginal menstrual cramps, PMS. And she's really ramping up to the
she had
diarrhea talk.
Gotta be to the hospital.
She had PMS, GG or something, right? She had
I can't talk about that. Yeah. People wrote me and were like, "That's a real thing, and you shouldn't have made fun of it." So I apologize to those people that have it. I'm sorry.
You guys, God. Mary Payne is sorry and sensitive to your PMS dysphoria. And we
are not.
I mean, sure. Listen, Julie probably has it. She's completely.
Give me yes, please.
I'm just saying it's undiagnosed when a red tidal wave comes through here, and
I've had all the cramps. I've had all the things. I bleed, all of the things, get horrible cramps, horrible this. We've tested for endometriosis. I get it. It's not that big of a deal. We can make fun of things.
Yeah.
Because we're just, I'm sorry. We're not, you don't need to be offended because somebody has PGMSTBD.
We're not her PMS dysmorphia. Jesus. We're making fun of her for being fucking annoying. That's what it is. She said she's only happy 1 week a year, and she proved that because this is not one of those weeks.
No.
Yeah.
And
yes.
And also, you're exploiting your PTM and GBD. You're exploiting it. So it's one thing if you have it, but you're exploiting it, bitch. Yeah. You're exploiting it.
Yeah.
Oh, where's Pepsi?
And when that didn't
work, bleeding. What am I gonna do?
When that didn't work, she had to get a parasite.
Let me wear some lightning pasties on my because it's not working. I'm not getting enough attention. I can't. I'm sorry. No. Just no. Just we all have some fucking medical issues. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. You don't have cancer. You're on the trip. Yes, you have a painful period. A lot of us fucking do. It's not the end of the fucking world. You're not special. So take your gross, dumb, lightning, stupid pasties. I can't with her. I can't. She's worse than Raquel.
So,
wow.
Wow. I think that it was really great for us because we love Portia and we love Giselle.
Huge. Yeah, love Portia. Always.
And it was pretty fun to have a declared villain.
That's true.
Because I didn't, but we already had one for us in Candace.
That's also true.
So we didn't really need two.
True. That's true.
And one of them was not there half the time.
Yeah,
so right. She was more of a nuisance instead of the on-site villain that we required.
Right. And then you're gone. You're in the hospital. And then you thirst your way back to the dinner. You took some antibiotics for the parasite that you drank, whatever. And then, of course, I'm just happy I can be back tonight and I made it. And everyone's like, yeah, we're happy too. Great. If
oh my God, I'm crying.
Say that you're happy that you're back. Now, one person said they were happy that she was back because
Candace was happy she was back.
Yeah,
Candace was happy she was back.
Even though Candace had to tell, what's her name? Whitney, that she was her favorite.
Remember?
How rude was that?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just we'll zip through here what exactly happened. So first they go to this Lotus Pond restaurant, which was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And Heather says, and I highlighted it because this is the second problematic thing Heather says, because remember on an earlier episode, she said, my favorite activity is taking people's money in third world countries or something like that.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
It wasn't good. It wasn't great. It was something about third world countries and taking their money. Ha ha ha. Then,
I'm surprised Leah didn't catch it. Like, you shouldn't say things like that, Heather. Because she'd be the one to say that.
And then she says that when she sees the lotus pond at the restaurant, she really thought that's what all of Thailand would look like. And then she laughs and goes, but really it's an armpit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was that.
Yeah. Thailand is not a third world country, is it?
I didn't think so.
No.
They have big... Listen, you're the world travelers. You should know.
I don't think it is, but...
Yeah. So...
That's a rude thing to say. I mean,
that's the second rude thing she said about Thailand in particular. So
Utah's a third world country. How about that?
So
that was Julie, not Brandy or Mary Payne.
It's a joke. It's a joke. So we know Utah's not really a third world country.
No, I have been there. There. So, anyway, they sit down to this lunch, right? And Pepsi brings out the easel of the Clase Azul bottle. Okay. I'm not a tequila connoisseur, but my understanding is this is like not the best tequila in the world. And it's like a tchotchke, right?
No, it's expensive.
It's great. It's great tequila. We like it a lot.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing that, because that size, once you spent $350 on it, I mean, somebody got it for us as a gift, and we do still have it as a tchotchke because sometimes when I'm desperate, I try to get more out of it. I think there's no way I got all of it, but it's huge.
You just stick your tongue down in there and roll it around, like maybe. Yeah.
Please. I'm trying to put water in it and shake it up.
Yeah.
But I did like that Marisol said she has little ones, and for parties, she fills them up and puts them in a cooler. I was like, oh, I'd like to go to that party. That sounds fun.
I've never seen a little one.
I haven't either.
And I thought that sounded so cute. But, people always keep it because it is beautiful, but also because it's so expensive. The tequila's good. It has a hint of vanilla. So,
ooh.
Yeah. So, and it's really pricey, whether you buy the bottle or get a shot in a bar.
I was under the impression the bottle was like $50, and what's the big deal?
No. It's like $300, if not.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So she brings out the easel and says, like, court's in session, right? So then she says, and then Portia's like, you can't tell me Giselle has found a printing company all the way in Thailand to print out a giant picture of Clase Azul. She cannot get over it. So I did like when Giselle had her court. She said, this is Jen Shaw style. And at the last minute, you want to say you're guilty, we'll accept it. And I was like, oh God. So it's only a week old and they're already doing the jokes. So Portia tells the story of going through Heather's room and not seeing the bottle, right? Mm-hmm. And Giselle says, so Heather has a witness, so she's no longer a suspect. And Heather is, of course, just so happy to have any attention. And then Giselle says, Marisol is off the suspect list because they allowed their room to be searched. And then she says, Candace, you're still suspect because you wouldn't allow your room to be searched. And she said, no, I'm not. And I got to say, with Candace, I think I agree with this. Like, on principle only, you're not going to search my room because now, you're accusing me of theft. Now, do I think Candace stole the bottle? Probably. Because I think that's why she didn't want her room searched. Really, I do. I do. I think that like one night after everybody went to bed, she and somebody, not Leah, the only one that doesn't drink, she and somebody got that bottle and went to Candace's room like, let's just drink this and we'll put it back, and they forgot.
There's no way that I can even go near that bottle. I can't. I don't even drink anymore. I can't go near it.
I didn't sure if I don't know, because she had to get the bottle shipped there, and because I guess they don't have it there. So you had to buy it, which is expensive, and then have it shipped there, which she said cost $300. So everybody was like, that's so dumb. But it wasn't just the principle. That's the only tequila she likes, and it is very distinctive and tastes like vanilla, and it's really good. And she worked it on vacation, and it was production's fault. And I believe, however it went missing, production scrambling, because it's why don't we know where the black eye came from? Okay, right. You had the camera in a room, and now the camera's off. And where are the cameras when around the villa, when there's no cameras in the at night in the main area of the villa? Like, that's all just strange. And I'm sure Giselle was like, you're going to pay me back plus interest for that bottle because I didn't get to drink all week. And
yeah, right.
I would love it if it was Candace, simply because she said, your mother's a thief, which was in the episode. I'm not a thief. Your mother's a thief.
Yeah. It can really be funny. I mean, she can.
She can. I would be terrified to be around her because I would be afraid that she would, be like, oh my God, like you have a flat ass. Or, I mean, she would like call out whatever's like,
I definitely don't like that she's physically insulting. I think that's super trashy and gross. And
it's like Kelly Dodd. It's like Tourette's. It's like, it's just like comes out and she can't help it. It's like, oh my God, shave your face. Like, you can't help it.
Yeah. And it is scary. Nobody wants to be around somebody that's going to come out and like zero in on like your biggest physical flaw. And Giselle completely rises above as somebody who was born beautiful and still is beautiful and never says anything about her fucking Candace's appearance ever. She never stoops that low. We like that a lot about Giselle. Because they constantly, and even Leah copied it and called her neck at one point. It was so dumb.
I don't even get the neck thing. Does Giselle have a weird neck that I've just never noticed? I mean, I'm looking at her face because she's so pretty.
Yeah, good. We're going to say no, she doesn't have anything wrong with her neck or her knee or her ankles. And
her ankles.
That's reaching by two,
trolls.
Lame tools. Lame tools. They think she's a mean girl. They're the mean girls. That's what insecure girls do. So, but your mother's thief can stay.
Also, Ratchet.
No, your ashy court. Your ashy court.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, that's the thing with Candace. We'll be mad at her, but then she's funny. And then there's like a room in the heart.
Yeah.
But who isn't funny is Leah. ever funny at all. Okay.
She's funny right now.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, my period. I need everyone in my room. Oh, I can't. Just no.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
No. Just no.
Okay. All right, back to the trial. Leah's not here yet. Once we get to Leah.
Excuse me. Okay. The trial.
Back to the Ashy trial. Marisol says at some point she's going to have to buy a hearing aid. She goes, because they keep sitting you next to me.
All right.
And then Candace is like, Marisol, this hoe's been yelling the whole time. And Marisol's like, oh my God, like stop. So then this thing goes on between Giselle and Candace is like, you're literally accusing your friend of larceny. And then Giselle's like, well, I thought we were friends. And they go, you're not friends because what you said about my husband and all this stuff. All right. So Marisol then just out of the blue says, well, my coffee's missing.
Oh, that's
bricks of coffee.
The red bricks of coffee.
And then I was like,
started with her mom.
And then they show her in her room and she's asking Alexia, like, I brought these little bricks of coffee because it's a company that I have with my mom and there's only 2 cases left. So I brought these little bricks of coffee to share with the girls. And Alexia's like, call Steve. I'm sure you left that shit at home because you're drunk all the time. And she's like, no, I've seen it in my suitcase. I have. So, they start arguing back and forth and Portia's like, y'all are just irritated because you've been in the room together too long. And Marisol's like, no, we don't fight. So so Candace declares a mistrial and Giselle says, no, she's the judge and she's going to be taking it under consideration. But they can tell this is going the wrong direction. So they end the court, right? I would really like that blow up of the bottle to be in the clubhouse. That would be great.
Yeah.
Or it'll be in the Bravo History Museum or whatever. So Pepsi comes and tells them they're going to have this Thai festival tonight. The stylist will come to help them get ready with their special outfits and everything. And guess what? Leah's back.
Oh my God.
Leah's back.
I'm the dinner for anything, you guys. I'm coming back.
Even though it's an 8-hour bag. This is an 8-hour bag, but I'm not going to finish it with her.
She's not going to finish it. And she had a normal poop. Thank God. And thank God she told us about her normal poop. Yeah. Because what would we do if we didn't know? So Leah asked Candace.
I love doing when I haven't taken a normal shit, putting on a half top. That's my favorite thing to do. Like, I have a parasite. I'm bloated. I haven't gone number 2 regularly, but let me put a half top on. Put my whole stomach out. I feel comfortable that way.
Oh my God. So Candace tells Leah about the trial and everything. And Leah's like, oh my God, that's so crazy. But I'm so excited. Like, I feel better for dinner. So in the confessional, Giselle tells Portia, I'm not leaving Phuket until I get to the bottom of this bottle. And I do think Candace took it. And Portia goes, let's do rock, paper, scissors. And they say rock is Candace.
But and Mary Payne, they say, let's do scissor, paper, rock. Like they don't call it rock, paper, scissors. They call it scissor, paper, rock. And then Julie and I had a full thing about this because the way you play rock, paper, scissors is you go,
okay,
rock, paper, scissors, thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
paper, scissors, shoot. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So you go rock, paper, scissors, shoot. So they go scissor, paper, rock. It was Candace.
Right.
And I'm like, one, that's not the name of the game. And two,
set up
how you play it. You know what I mean? Like they didn't even do the last one. They just ended on rock.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. With the title out of order.
It's not the brain trust we're working with here. Yeah. So the stylists come in. Portia gets a crown. She's excited. So Heather and Whitney walk outside to have a moment, to talk about their fight and look at the gorgeous view and everything and sweat because it's 1,000 degrees there. And Heather says, if this is our night to be in cousin love. And Whitney's like, yeah, I think we've laid a great foundation. Of course, all this goes to shit at the reunion, we know. But Heather says, like, I've honored your journey and you're not honoring my journey. And you need to not have feelings about my Mormon journey and blah, blah, blah. So Heather's like, you can not have an opinion because your opinions aren't factual. And we need to have real conversations. But then right as Whitney's about to fire back, a feather comes by. And they start talking about how it's a Forrest Gump feather to bless their friendship. And she calls the feather cocoa bean. Like, what? What? Did I miss the whole subplot of the feather in Forrest Gump and now it's called cocoa bean? What the fuck's happening here?
I didn't understand that at all. I didn't know I didn't know what the feather Gump feather. I didn't know what any of that was. I was like, I don't even.
Heather has some obsession with Forrest Gump,
which is I don't know why,
but I don't know why it's cocoa
feather.
Bean.
Why is it?
I didn't.
Maybe because the bricks of coffee. Maybe they stole the bricks of coffee.
Okay, all right. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. All I know, cocoa bean. I don't even like coffee. I don't want any coffee. Okay, I don't even appreciate having coffee near me because I'm addicted to coffee.
So what did you think when they went inside and they showed Candace, Whitney, and Heather, bad weather, tornado, spin the truth, destroy? What was that? Were they? I was like, are you guys on drugs? What is this? What?
I kept trying to rack my brain and be like, because it was Lisa Barlow who called them bad weather at the reunion.
Mm-hmm. She was really trying to make it stick, and it did.
Yeah. But I was thinking, did she say Whitney and Heather, bad weather? You're like a tornado, spin the truth and destroy. I started thinking maybe they literally took Lisa Barlow's words and made an interpretive dance out of it because they did a matching dance. And I was like, okay, so they got super high and drunk one night and decided to make up the dance, but they did it to Lisa Barlow's words because the words are so random, but also kind of good. Like spin the truth, destroy.
Oh,
so
right.
Oh, so I think they got the quote directly from Lisa and then got high and made the dance. Oh. And then I don't know where that chicken mask came from. She had a full chicken head.
They bought those in the market. Remember when they got the frosty tea or whatever, and they were going and buying the gifts for the monks and stuff? They had bought those because they talked about chicken masks and wearing their chicken mask. But we only got to see it at the end.
Oh yeah, I don't really remember that. So
you don't remember you passed out?
Me passed out what? No, why would I remember me passing out?
Leah McSweeney passed out.
Oh, in the store?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, Pepsi, I need you, Pepsi. I need you. I ripped my face off because she had to call for Pepsi. She had to pass out in the fucking thing. Then they had to bring her to the hospital. It's just like this woman's thirst knows no end. It knows
and she had no underwear on.
No end. Oh, no underwear on.
But having her period and diarrhea with no underwear is not sanitary.
No.
Bitch, no. Fucking underwear. You're out
And you're having your period and not wearing underwear and you're pooping your pants? What are you just letting it run down those assless chaps you were wearing? I didn't get it.
And also, it's just disrespectful, in my opinion. You're out in this country and you're not wearing fucking underwear. It's one thing you're going to stay by the pool. You want to be naked or do whatever. Fine. But now you're out. No one needs you to not have underwear on. Put your underwear on.
You're talk about it.
Buying monks gifts.
Oh, and by the way, you're in the store. I don't know if I can do it. I gotta go to hold on. I want those 2 dresses though when I come back. Like, fucking get it together. Like, and that I just, and don't.
So that's where the chicken mask came from. I see.
Yeah, they bought them at the market.
Okay.
So now so everybody puts their outfits on. Everyone looks great, right? So now they're in the Sprinter van, and Giselle says, because she loves to stir the shit, she's literally there, like producer tells her say this, and she gets and wherever, and she sits and she says it, and she says, can we talk about it earlier today when she said that she never has your back? She's saying this to Alexia. And Marisol says, well, there are certain topics that I choose not to insert myself. And when she gets attacked, I get quiet. And Alexia's like, well, that's when I need you the most. And her talking head, Marisol says, Alexia and I are very dear friends, and we've been sharing a room for 8 days. Tensions are hot. No one else has been in these same circumstances as the 2 of us. So everybody can just take their opinion and shove it up their ass. And in the van, Marisol says, Alexia is a great fighter, and I'm not like that. And Giselle's like, she doesn't want you to fight. She just wants you to have her back. So then Alexia says, and of course, I have not seen this season. I've downloaded it for my upcoming trip, but I haven't seen it. But Alexia says,
we did it in another thing we did besides Tom Sandoval and Howie Mandel. We did all of Miami, the last 2.
Last 2. Okay.
We spent hours trying to get to Miami on Wi-Fi on Peacock, and it'll take you 10 hours before you're hooked. But if you're willing to put in those 10 hours,
I'm willing to put in the time.
Yeah, it'll take you 10 solid hours though before you're hooked. But then we were hooked, and then we got through it, and it was you can do it on a trip is good.
Okay, yeah, because otherwise, like normal life, I don't have time. So Alexia says, what you did to me at Nicole's engagement party, and Marisol's like, listen, dude, I didn't do that. Listen, dude, I can't wait for you to see the footage. And Marisol says, but that didn't give you the right to say my marriage is fake. And Alexia says, you put words in my mouth. I didn't say that. You need to fucking get off your pills. Your brain is rotten. I was like, whoa, that took a turn.
Yeah. Your brain is fried.
So they had some sort of argument, and that is where Alexia feels Marisol doesn't have her back.
Well, in the edit, we didn't experience that. They didn't edit that part of the storyline at all. Like, even though Alexia fought with pretty much everyone, you never see Alexia fight with Marisol. And they don't really like emphasize. There's one tiny moment which she already mentioned, where she felt like Marisol didn't speak up. And she's like, don't make me mad, Marisol. Yeah. Don't make me mad right now.
They were talking to Thierry.
Yeah, but that was it. It was very minor. And I will say I liked when the producer's like, so do you think you guys will be friends after this, to Marisol? And she's like, well, that's the stupidest question I've ever heard in my life. And then she's like, I know. New production team. Like, I love that she was like, don't ask me stupid bullshit. And then and another thing that you will need to take note of when you watch is that Marisol is she is such a huge part of both seasons. I'm talking like, if you think of like Marlo on Atlanta, who was a friend for many years, I'm talking 10 times more. She's a huge part. She's in every single episode for like a majority of the episode. And both seasons, she is just a friend. She is not holding the fucking orange or whatever the hell they're holding.
In this new iteration, she's just a friend.
Yeah, in both seasons. But she is completely there, to the point where you just take it for granted. And the only time you realize she's just a friend is because she doesn't come out until the second segment of the reunions. She's not there on the couch at the beginning. And then she stays to the very end, but she doesn't come out. So I'm just thinking to myself, she doesn't want to get involved in these arguments. And the only reason we even know this is because of Girls Trip. You don't know that this is some like thing between her and Alexia on the show. But when I'm hearing it on Girls Trip, I'm like, she doesn't want to do the heavy lifting because she's not being paid to do the heavy lifting. And she's not heavy lifting the orange. Or what do they hold? Do they hold an orange?
I don't know what they're holding, actually.
Miami?
Isn't Miami like a place with oranges?
Yeah.
Or is that here?
No, oranges is OC.
Oh, right. See, oranges are California too. I don't know what they hold. They hold a bag of cocaine, but it's
we're going to get to that because I have questions. I have questions about the cocaine.
She's not a friend, so I think that's why.
Oh, they're not holding anything.
Okay, they're holding their tits.
Nothing. It's just a flamingo.
Well, look like anyway, so she I think that's why. And you'll see, you're going to die when you watch it because it's really unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Well, so they're having this like, the back and forth in the van, and it's like, you need to fucking get off your pills, your brain's rotten. And then meanwhile, in the other van, Heather, Leah, Whitney, and Candace are doing choreography to Drive Back, which I sort of loved.
Me too.
I sort of loved the drive back, and then all that. And I was like, okay, all right. I enjoyed that juxtaposition of the two vans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that song's
good.
You can't deny.
Song's good.
Can't deny it's good. So then they arrive at this gorgeous place where they get on this boat and they get pulled over, to the restaurant over. And this is totally like a tourist thing, right? But I mean, I would have been all about it. I thought it was gorgeous. And Portia says it's like an orgasm, like everything is a dream. And so they do cheers with their drinks and they order food. Now, Leah says, I missed you guys. And what did I miss, Whitney? And Whitney goes, I got really, really high last night. And Candace's like, yeah, we smoked in the confessional. And then Whitney's like, I got up at 4 a.m. and I ate the chicken. And here comes a conversation I'll be very interested to hear your point of view on. So Alexia says to Whitney, I just love how liberated you are. And I probably need to learn from you. And, I think that you just openly talk about weed and it's legal and it's medically necessary. But I'm wondering about your children. Like they see you on TV, you smoke weed. You said that your daughter had found paraphernalia. And like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, oh, this is not gonna, no, it's not good. So Whitney says, do I want my daughter to find a weed pipe? Like, no, but I'm me. My kids accept it. It's a hard balance. And Lexi's like, yeah. And Lexi doesn't let this go. She's like, yeah, but your kids are 9 and 12 and your kids are being formed. And Leah goes, hi, excuse me. Are you talking about this from experience because your ex-husband or what? And Lexi says, no, I raised my children on my own. And Portia says, but you're judging. And Lexia says, no, I really want to know because the other night you're sitting there at the after party and then you're on a pole and then you're in the confessional and you're smoking pot. And I'm liberal, but what stopped me is, what are my kids going to think? And Leah says, I'm surprised you'd be shocked by that because you were married to a cartel member. Now, I need to know more about this. She was married to a cartel member, but then she says, but I didn't have my kids with him. Explain to me about Alexia, please.
So she didn't have the kids yet.
Mm-hmm.
Married a drug dealer because probably said with love, everyone in Miami is a drug dealer. And thank God, because otherwise, why go? But she married him, and she says that he was arrested for that and had stopped, that they didn't have any drug money and that he had already been in trouble for the drugs and stopped the drugs by the time they had their kids. So she does have 2 kids. They are from him, but he has been like in and out of jail. Even on this most recent season, he had come out of jail again. And then she married the other guy, Herman, after the drug dealer husband. So she claims that she never saw any of that drug money and that he was already in trouble and she didn't have her kids with him. He told her he had already stopped whatever illegal activity when they had their kids and that he then got in trouble again after they were divorced.
That's funny how that happens. But yeah, I think that if you're a cartel member, you're a cartel member. I don't think you get to leave.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that when Giselle basically said, look, we can't be judging how people mother. Everyone mothers differently. And if you want to do drugs in front of your kids. And if Whitney want to smoke weed and do drugs in front of her kids, who am I to judge?
Yeah. She wants to get high while her kids watch. You can't tell her not to.
Can't do it.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I think that in Miami and probably, they're Cuban and they grew up religious and, I think they're used to probably hiding that kind of stuff, and rightfully so. And also, drugs have a different connotation in Miami than they do in like California or Utah. So, I think that's probably why she's so shocked by it. Remember when Kyle screamed at Brandy Glanville because Brandy Glanville said in Amsterdam that Kyle had smoked weed before? She's like, oh, come on, Kyle. I've seen you smoke. And Kyle almost slapped her. She's like, I don't want my kids to hear. And now Kyle's like eating fucking pot brownies and Maurizio's higher than a kite every single episode. So
I do remember that. Yeah, it was like they were in Amsterdam and she's like, no, like none of them would eat part of the pot brownie on camera or anything. And probably in California at that time, it was probably legal because, I mean, it's been legal a long time in California.
And Brandy said, Kyle, come on, you're being stupid. I've seen you smoke in front.
Right.
And she got so mad and was like, I don't want that on camera. My kids watch the show. I don't want that example for my kids. And granted, I mean, her kids are grown now, but Portia is still small and she's fully, and it is legal. But I think it just takes time for them to come around to being more, I guess, authentic when it comes to that stuff. And, I think that's why she was being judgy. And I thought she was kind of also being like, honestly asking
and that's what she said.
Yeah, honestly. I thought so too, because Marisol kind of starts to talk too. She goes, Whitney, you have to excuse me, but if you have respect for your family, you wouldn't do a stripper pole on television. Like, you've got kids, and they should stripper pole in her house. And she's like, because of your kids, like the kids go to school, they talk to other parents, and Whitney goes, my kids just say, were you jealous that that's not your mom? And they're like, oh wow, okay. And Portia's like, listen, you just can't, talk about that. Like, you can't talk about how people run their household and,
when your tits are coming out left ways to Sunday to Friday out of your dress and your nips are being blurred out. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just hypocritical right there. Like, literally, we're literally being tit slapped by every one of their boobs. And you're talking about like a pole. I mean, come on.
But Portia's right. I will say though that, I mean, but we just judge it in our minds, and then you judge it behind closed doors.
You keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us do.
Ask her off camera if you truly want the advice. But I mean, not for nothing, she did deep throat a champagne bottle, Whitney. I like Whitney, but that was a lot.
She's very sexual. I think that's the thing too with Lexi. It's just like, she's so overtly sexual in front of everyone, which I think, again, it's just like, you can have your boobs out and you talk about dicks and big dicks and the guys you get with and dick this and dick that. But then when a girl or woman is being on a pole or deep throating a bottle, whatever, it's like, now you have a problem. It's like, you know what? I don't want to hear any of it. How about that? But we are. Yeah. And it's like,
it's potato. It's like, which one's worse? I mean,
like each to their own. And, it is what it is. It all is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I will say in her confessional thing, Whitney says, well, this is very interesting coming from a woman whose son has been in the news for kicking a homeless man, to which I wrote, what? ? Asked Brandy and Julie. What?
Yeah. I mean, that is.
Alexia's son got in trouble for kicking a homeless man?
Yes.
So back in the first iteration, her oldest son was, he was in his late teens, and so he might have been 19 or something. Might have been, and he, I mean, I'm not sure if her younger son, like 12 at the time, was in a car accident with his friends. Like, he wasn't driving; he was 12 years old, but he was in a car accident. He almost died. He had to stay in the ICU for a month. And when he finally could get out, he had to learn to walk again. And he has brain damage for life. So this kid that was 12 is now
20, whatever.
Yeah. Frankie. The older son, Peter back then at that time was obviously traumatized and acting out. And the family was changed. The family changed. He was already a wild kid, but he was drinking and probably doing drugs and acting out, and he developed a severe like an anger from the trauma of his brother and everything that was happening.
But I think, like what you said, he has a serious anger problem from trauma or whatever his issue is, and he was acting out in a way that was,
and videotaped it because why not? Yeah, go ahead and make sure everybody knows.
He has issues. He has issues, but he seems to be trying to get better. I mean, now Alexia and him have, whatever his troubles were, whatever he saw, God knows what he saw with his cartel dad. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
But she certainly loves those kids through hell and high water, and she is trying her hardest to help both of them. And I do think when you watch this last season, you can see this guy trying.
The one who did the homeless.
Peter. He's a struggling, miserable person who trying. He's trying. You can see that he's trying. and it's hard to watch.
So does Lexia, she's married to somebody else now? She has a third marriage?
Yeah, Todd.
Todd.
Yeah. So Todd's, gets mad at Peter, and they're working it out as a family. I mean, I think that's got to be something no one can really understand. Like your 12-year little brother, and he was close with his little brother, is now totally a different person.
And he says, and he yells, and Todd and him get in a fight, which is what he needs. He needs a man around to say, listen, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And that's what Todd does. And then Peter kind of does respect that. And he's like, no, and I'll kick your ass. And then Todd's like, I'll kick your fucking ass. How about that? I'll fight you. And
oh my God,
that's crazy, but it's what that kid needs.
Yeah.
And he needs a man to top him and alpha him and show him what respect and learn about respect. And, and that I do think Todd's trying to do that. And Peter seems to be trying to learn it. So.
See, you guys are just making me, I was really planning to only watch these 2 recent seasons of Miami, but you're really making me feel like I have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I don't have the hours in the day.
If you get to see Leah Black, I don't think you can.
I love Leah. Love Leah Black.
Jump to these 2 seasons because there's so much history. You need to see Lenny.
Yeah.
Her marriage.
Oh.
Yeah. You'll get to see Leah's first Chihuahua.
Oh.
Yeah. Those early seasons are good.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I should watch it for her alone.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So let's go back to the Clase Azul bottle. So Pepsi arrives with the new Clase Azul bottle. He says he searched the whole island to find one so they can have peace. Now, where did it come from? We don't know. Because if they don't have it there on the whole Thailand, then where did he get it?
I think production had another one shipped. What do you think? You think they went and got?
Yeah, but what is it, like FedEx overnight? It's only a 7-day trip.
Yeah, it must have been. I think they went in for that production room and was like, somebody's going to pay me back or get me another bottle. And they were like, FedEx another bottle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Candace says they're rewarding her demon behavior. So they all start talking about how much they love and appreciate Pepsi. And they had this ceremony, which was very pretty, which it was so interesting, right? Because they're leaning down in these dresses and Pepsi's like, I have you. Pepsi has you always. I was like, relax, Pepsi. And
relax.
They're putting these, flower crowns with candles in the water and saying their intention and lighting it off. It was so interesting that when they pulled back from that shot, you could see all the cameras. They're all trying to get that photo, right, of them in that exact moment of releasing in those beautiful dresses. And so they have to say their truth. So Giselle says she's releasing negative energy within the group and hopes the ladies stay a unit because they've made these memories. Candace says she's praying for healing for the group. And then Candace says, I'm sorry people were bullied. Being herself. She says, and I'm sorry that took place. It's sort of like, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry if your feelings were hurt. So Leah wants to release her physical ailments.
I wish I didn't have such horrible periods. God. And this parasite's got to go. I don't even like anyone here except maybe 1 or 2 people. These ladies are all cunts. Literally, she called everyone cunts.
That's what she said. She said, everyone here are seabirds, and she doesn't want to fuck with them, and she loves the couple of friends she made. Portia releases
to like random backs of heads. I'm like, who are the 2 friends you made? Is it Candace and Heather, or it's unclear who your other friend in the house is besides Candace?
I mean, it's just.
I think it's just Candace.
Yeah.
So,
and by half of these women, I mean one person, Candace. Because she's the only one who, like, for whatever reason, likes me.
Portia releases negative talk to herself, and Marisol goes like, oh, Jesus Christ. She goes out there and she's mumbling. She says, like, to whoever we're praying to, I don't know, bring us peace. And then she says, I'm in a honeymoon phase with Steve, and leaving him, being away from him was like, I need the meat. But I learned a lot on this trip, and I loved everyone. I was like, and then she's like, gyrating, need the meat. I was like, Marisol, Jesus, take it down. Alexia says she was on this trip with her best friend and they fight, but they adore each other no matter what. And then they, cry and hug and say they've tripped up together. Whitney says she sees the worst in people and she'd like to see the good and wants to trust people. Heather says she releases her judgment of others and her expectation of people and she should meet them where they should be. She tells us things have been hard, but there's been some amazing things. I've had friendships. I've met people. I'll take memories with me. And in the end, I came out ahead. I was like, well, you've insulted all the people of Thailand several times, so you won't be back.
You're passive aggressive. You talk behind everyone's backs. You pretend that you like them, but you don't. I mean, Heather shows her true colors. Like she needs it.
Next season's not going to be her redemption season. Nope. It's going to be her pretending she has a drinking problem and get everybody on her side. And then the next season, everybody will like her again.
Yeah, and she'll go sober and maybe,
She's going to say she has a drinking problem. That's why she doesn't remember that Jen Shaw punched her in the eye.
And that they ate each other's pussies. You can cut that.
Allegedly. Last day, we see Whitney and Heather doing their cheer again in chicken masks for some reason. Just again, they're so hot. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sweating so bad looking at every scene. Now, at breakfast, Alexia comes in and sits with Whitney and says, I was asking you those questions. I really was coming from a good place as a mom. And I really was genuinely wondering how you can be so open. And she says, maybe your kids see you smoke pot and then they never want to smoke pot. Because, my son Peter never saw me do anything or smoke pot. And now he does smoke pot. So that makes me wonder, about giving the example. Maybe you're not giving the wrong example, but I guess you never know. It depends on the person. And Whitney's like, well, at times I could be more like you. And then at times I could be more like you. And Whitney says, really, it's weird that Alexia kind of came at me like that. She's the only person I ever really got to know on the trip, but I'm just going to accept her apology. So they all come in and get ready to say goodbye to Pepsi. And Candace says, we want to thank you. And then they give you this card. And then they give him a little something in an envelope. And Marisol says, that's going to be for all the therapy you're going to need. He cries. Now, I think for sure he's probably a paid actor.
Didn't we read that he was?
I mean, people are saying that he's paid. Because
the guy that was the butler at Dorinda's came forward and said he was fake. Yeah.
And then the original guy that Luann was like horny for, remember that guy? Mm-hmm. They say, because he was an actor.
But he actually did manage that house as like his side job. But he was an actor at the local theater. Yeah.
And the butler at Dorinda's, what was his connection? Like, where did they find him?
He was like the boyfriend of a production assistant. No lie. Yeah.
Oh.
So they just he was like him in there as an actor, which is why
he was like, I've been a waiter. I could do it. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they ripped his shirt off. Oh man.
Yeah. That guy.
I mean, he said he learned English Pepsi from watching movies, and it definitely all checks out that he was an actor. And he didn't seem like he was managing the place. And then remember when Alexia was
and Marisol,
Marisol's like, go.
He just wants to giggle with us.
Yeah, like, let's go call Pepsi. And Marisol says he just wants to giggle with us. And Alexia's like, Marisol, he's here to take care of us. He has to come in here. She didn't care. She's like, I don't care if he is an actor. He's pretending to clean the rooms. He's going to come bring me whatever the hell I need.
She was like, he has other staff that's supposed to be cleaning the rooms, right? Yeah. Get him to call that person. So he says whenever they miss him, they can just go to the fridge and find a can of Pepsi and he'll always be with them in that way. Now, as the credits roll, we hear a graduation type song. It was like a graduation song. And Giselle says, as a matter of fact, where is that bottle? Did you find the footage? To the producer. And the producer says, we searched high and low. We did not find the bottle. And Giselle looks at the producer and goes, seriously, where do you think it is? And producer goes, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Then we see Candace doing like an evil laugh and she has the bottle or a bottle number 2. We don't know. And Candace says to Leah, where did you find this bottle? And Leah says, I won't comment, but I want you to have it. Then we see Whitney and Heather the night of the party where they had that conversation about the cocoa bean feather.
Yeah.
And they took a selfie and then they said, they have this conversation outside and they say, we should take a swig out of that Clase Azul bottle. And they say, they never even checked the outdoor shower. Classic place to hide a bottle. So now, what do you think of that?
Bottle there.
Well, we don't know if that's even true.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
because Heather said, like, remember when Portia came in her room and she was like, oh, I've got this great Clase Azul. You want to take a shot? Like, just kidding. I don't have it, So it's like it became a running joke about who had it.
Yeah.
So, but I will say, I think if anybody took it, I do think it was Candace because she didn't just go, I don't give a shit. Search everybody's room. Who cares? She just really dug in. And then she started saying, like, you're accusing me of larceny, big words.
Yeah. I always think larceny sounds like arson. And then I forget what larceny is.
Yeah. Just thieving.
Arson was what happened last time we recorded and my smoke alarm went off in my home.
So, but then larceny is stealing.
Stealing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you think of grand larceny as stealing a car.
Okay. I just think it's an unnecessary word to use, but that's classic Candace.
Yep.
I mean, I guess if anything, I could imagine, I guess, Heather and Whitney hiding it, but then why get scared to...
I think that was all done in post. I think that was all done after. I think they took the bottle and were like, let's do a funny thing. Let's do a button. And then they just did that.
Yeah. Well, that part was done in post, but when they were like after their selfie, after the cocoa bean feather, I mean, they were in those dresses. They were going inside to leave. So they really did say that at that time.
Yeah.
They didn't make them redress the next morning.
Right. That was the last day. And they maybe just said, pretend you guys, this is going to be at the end. So pretend you have the bottle.
Right.
We're going to get everybody to pretend they have the bottle. Yeah. It would have been funny if they would have gone into everybody's room and like done a search, you know.
I mean, they have to know, and otherwise it was just someone in the staff or someone around there that wanted the bottle because it's not available there, and they were going to resell it or make fill it up with fucking Patron or whatever and resell something. You know, it's a valuable thing to larcen because it's not available in Thailand.
Right.
You know, that's what I always thought. I mean, without being, you know, it's like if I was working there, I'd steal that shit.
Yep.
It's a valuable thing to larcen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Put that.
All right.
Print that.
Yep.
Print.
It's the title of the episode.
Cut and print.
Oh my God, you guys! Thank you so much. I really love all your takes on the Scandoval and stuff. It's and the Jersey stuff too. We got a lot of like heavy psychological damage being done to us on Bravo lately.
Yeah, we do.
So shit has gotten toxic.
Yeah.
This is the only place we've done any of these takes. So. We haven't done them anywhere else. Everyone's sick of our deep takes, the deep cuts.
No, I listen. Like I said, we could do 2 hours just on Scandoval. But I want to tell everybody, really listen to Dumb Gay Politics. That's their free podcast. But where you want to really hear something funny is Brandy and Julie on their Patreon, which is also Dumb Gay Politics. They have an interesting Patreon structure, which is $1 an episode. So I mean, you guys, you can't beat that.
No, you can't.
You can't beat it.
We do 2 a week. They're both an hour. You can choose to listen to just one, or you can do both. You can choose to just do 1 a month, 2 a month, however you want to set it up for yourself, whatever money you want to pay. And it's not about politics. Our political podcast is free, but it's really liberal. And so we get that politics is polarizing right now. You know, nobody should go near it if you're not wanting to hear liberal views. You know, it is an LGBTQ plus podcast. So, and if you're gay and not liberal, you need to fuck right off. And also a woman, but we'll not go there. So basically our Patreon, we don't talk about politics at all. We don't even touch on it. It's just...
You guys, they did an episode from the airplane where they were mocking the French stewardess until they turned on her and then decided they liked her. But what was her name? Bet?
Bet, yeah. Yeah,
but
we don't know.
She won us over.
Yeah. She did, yeah.
I need to understand about that episode. So was it the two of you were sitting together, like one of you in the middle? So it was like somebody was on the window, like Julie's in the middle and Brandy's on the aisle, and then the two of you were like huddled together over ye old microphone?
Well, we have like lavalier mics.
Okay.
We were holding like basically like lollipops like in front of our tiny little mics. We were holding by our mouths.
So, and the guy in the window or whatever was like, what the fuck's happening here?
Yeah.
Like,
he had noise canceling headphones on, but he took them off when the flight attendant came over. So Julie got like an attack of the giggles, and at that point he had his noise canceling headphones off. But yeah, I mean that was the first time we ever did it, and
it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good way to kill time on a plane.
Yeah,
I mean,
yep.
Every time y'all get on the planes and you're like, there's no Wi-Fi here. Like, I was like, didn't you like pre-download something? I'm always so stressed about what you're going to watch on the plane. I'm like, why didn't they pre-download anything?
There was nothing to pre-download. But I had thought because Air France was a Delta, I misread
we don't
it.
Pre-download. We don't.
No, and I completely misread. I thought we were going to get wireless, and it was going to be that type of thing where you could get on your laptop or but it wasn't. They had nothing.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Thank goodness for the next trip. You don't have to go that far.
Yeah.
We do have like movies on a laptop, but
this was more fun. This was more fun to listen to you guys talk about Bet, the bitchy French flight attendant.
If anybody wants to check it out, they can go to julieandbrandy.com, or they can, we have like a free episode they can listen to, or they can just Google Julie and Brandy Patreon and it'll come up.
Yep.
You go to patreon.com/dumbgaypolitics.
Or that. Yep.
That too. And guys, don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. You can find our Pink Shade Prime episodes, which are on Patreon or Supercast. And we're doing, for Supercast only right now, Indian matchmaking, which we're going to roll right into Jewish matchmaking. I couldn't be more excited. Yeah, new show on Netflix. Okay, thanks to Brandy and Julie. And I hope I see you guys again. And you can tell me what you're up to at that time.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.